The 26th of December. The match that would decide Kanon's future as an athlete was about to begin. She didn't come home until early in the morning. When she did, she bore a somewhat grand expression. I don't know what happened, but she seemed to be lively enough. Don't worry about it, I'm used to dealing with cops. You know me, always up to no good. I almost shouted, "Are you kidding?" According to the police report, there was no evidence that Ikuko-san ever came in contact with the sports car. I still have no idea how she could have hit her head. I see. I suppose this is one of those rare points in life where the ends justify the means. Who am I to complain if it got Kanon to start calling Ikuko-san Mom? Are you alright, Kanon? She was strangely meek. No, I didn't do anything. So? In return? To think Kanon would say such a thing. Well, I won't ask why. Just make sure to keep your word, okay? It's been too long since I last saw Kanon's radiant smile. She must have found some sort of peace. A crowd of reporters who feared about yesterday's incident run to meet the car as it pulls up to the curb and lets Kanon out. He speaks without even faint concern as microphones and cameras are thrust at Kanon. Kanon replies boldly. She stares down the cameras without hesitation. The reporters all stood dumbfounded, leaving an empty pause clearly unfit for live television. Kanon lifted her chin high and disappeared through the staff entrance. The long-awaited ladies' free skate begins at 6:30. When I arrived at the arena at 1 o'clock, the ice dancing and pair skating matches were already underway. Oh, Usami and Eiichi are here. I suddenly run into Eiichi and Usami. Usami, I thought I had finally gotten rid of you. How did you manage to get a ticket? As disgusting as ever, I see. What's disgusting about it? This won't be her final battle, I can promise you that. Sounds like something from a movie trailer, but alright. If you're gonna say a final, at least save it for the Olympics. Usami nodded. Whoa, you guys are shamelessly cheesy. Oh, shut up. Just go sit down, will you? I waved them away with my hand. Eiichi never forgets to complain. Sometimes he forgets to say bye, but he never forgets to complain. Talk about a bunch of numbskulls. Still, Kanon would be happy. I wish we could let her know that her friends have come to watch her. I had a light meal before the ladies' singles started. In the packed corridor of the arena, I see a man horribly out of place among this everyday scenery. Is it Gonzo? Yes, it's Gonzo. Well, albeit, did you have a sudden change of heart, father? Gonzo appears from out of the crowd of Yakuza around him. Meet her end? Oh, yes, of course. Still the same asshole as always, I see. Naturally. All the major sponsors cut their contracts with Kanon. With Kanon's current image, she'll be of no further use to the Sonoyama group financially. She'll lose her backing and her career. I gaze into Gonzo's cold eyes. Your prediction for today's outcome isn't very fatherly. A strange light runs through those brutal eyes. I pay no heed to it and spit out with a hint of challenge. My girl is your daughter, you know. There's no way she can lose. He laughs deeply as he stares me down in delight. Yup.
すでに1位の三能物産の犬と15点もの大差をつけられているが
That won't stop Kanon.
構成点では負け技術点すらほぼ互角だが
Well, Seta has traditionally dominated the performance, execution and interpretation components, and I suppose it's true that her jumps have been catching up with Kanon's recently.
今日は違うというのだな
She still has a few tricks up her sleeve.
自力でも人気でも劣るカノンが勝てると
The more people say she can't do it, the more important it is for me to have faith in her. Gonzo nods with a condescending smile plastered on his lips.
京介お前も俺にへつらうだけの家畜かと思っていたが初めて意見が分かれたな
The monster turns his back to me. The arena was packed with hustle and bustle. I have half a mind to worry that the commotion will melt the ring's eyes. Everyone's here to see the new idol, Seta Makiko. I look around and see hundreds of signs cheering for Seta. I sit down and the group practice before the competition starts. There was still no sign of Kanon, who was scheduled to go last. I suddenly feel a presence behind my head. A voice I've never heard called out to me. Oh, Ikuko-san. She was almost like a ghost. Hollow eyes, shaky legs. What's wrong? Shouldn't you be over in the staff seating? She shakes her head. I look at her ticket. Seating for relatives right next to mine. Are you feeling alright? She murmurs as she hobbles over to her seat. She is a terribly eerie sight. It would be an understatement to say that she merely looks possessed. With a face like a corpse, she stares into empty space. She asked this, muttering, Did you? Did you? Did you? I honestly can't say that I did. All this time I've lived as a slave to money, seeing my sister as nothing but a tool. The apparition mutters again. With just a small push, she would hang herself. When people are sad enough, they forget to cry. I couldn't find a reply. The words wouldn't come. The only person in this world who could have sympathized with this woman, who could have reached out for her with compassion, the only person who could have been this woman's savior was Kanon. I see, Kanon. I smile wryly. You really are the king. You're sitting on a rather tiny country's throne. You've done well. Now hurry and come out. Show them. Show them your wish for your mother. Seta Makiko's free skate came before Kanon's, and it was nothing less than dignifying. The entire audience was galvanized by the end she had finished. Her score was announced and it was just shy of a magnanimous 200 points. So grand was the applause that it seemed like the spectators' very lives depended on the clapping. Bouquets of flowers were tossed into the rink, and young girls on skates collected them. The new heroine of the ice, Seta, took her exit, and the arena quieted down. A gloomy, unpleasant silence followed. And then the announcement came. Kanon's turn. Coach Hilton had proposed that she abstain. Shortly before the match, during practice, her right ankle started to feel a bit odd. It wasn't a sprain or anything like that. However, as she used her right foot as a pivot to spin, pain steadily gnawed at her nerves. It was most likely a result of twisting when Ikoko pushed her away from the car yesterday evening. Her stamina was also a concern. She didn't exactly sleep well last night. The 4-minute free skate demands quite a bit of stamina. Even Kanon, who ran 3 miles around the arena every day, often got headaches from lack of oxygen after a performance. The audience reaction to her appearance was cold. The maelstrom of applause wasn't something entirely of the past. Now Kanon suffered a downpour of glances filled with disdain and scorn. Their eyes were dripping with malice and bore the look of wolves eagerly, excitedly awaiting a feast with anticipation. If this were in Japan, the arena would have long been filled with booing by now. As Kanon skated out to the center of the rink, she calmly analyzed her own situation. If she loses, it's all over. Forget about the Olympics, she won't even make it to the Worlds. She's already caused such a stir. She may be deserted by the union or even stripped of her federal scholarship. But what about her mother? Kanon recognized that there was something strange about her last night. Her madness was akin to being thrown overboard from an already capsized ship into an ocean of sin. If Kanon loses this competition, Ikoko will likely lose her mind. Her pulse hastened and her skin was attacked by a frothing sense of fear. The stagnant, chilly air crossed horrifically with a stifling silence. Standing alone in the center of the gleaming ice, Kanon couldn't help but feel concerned. But at the same time, she thought about whose fault it was that it had come to this. There was no need to even think. Kanon came to a decision. The music will begin soon. While entering her initial pose, Kanon slowly closed her eyes. She decided in an instant. Her anxiety about her right ankle, her fatigue from lack of sleep, her pulse so violent that she could hear it, everything. She drove everything from her mind. She decided to offer up a prayer. She placed this prayer of gratitude and love alongside this famous piece. Kanon's chapter, Songs My Mother Taught Me. As a beautiful melody flowed from the piano, Kanon turned aside and sprang into action. Kanon attuned herself to the opening of the piece and thought only of her mother. Her foolish, helpless mother. She raised her head and looked up toward the sky. As she skated, she filled her chest with wishes and desires. The first jump was rapidly approaching. She made an approach run all the way to the wall and concentrated the entirety of her focus into the tip of her left outside edge. Double axel. As the piano sent a chord spinning loudly through the arena, Kanon launched into the air. She made 2 effortless rotations while airborne and landed facing backwards. For someone like Kanon who can make 2.5 or even 3 rotations, it was much like a warm-up. Or so she thought. She had made light of it in her arrogance. A dull pain shot through her right ankle. She thought of it as an appropriate punishment and silently endured it. She skated gently, softly over the ice, as if to avoid waking her sleeping mother. As if to protect the eternal sleep her mother had endured since her father had abandoned them. Her execution was flawless. Nevertheless, the applause was sparse, like praise sprung from obligation. But that was the best Kanon could hope for. Who would clap for a girl like her? Hers was the story of a petty mother and a selfish daughter. One could even call it repulsive. Kanon simply apologized in her heart. While performing a graceful step sequence, Kanon addressed her mother. "Hey, Mom. I'm about to do the combination jump we used to practice together." The first time Kanon had been able to successfully land a Lutz, her mother cried her eyes out. In the moment that followed, the Lutz that Kanon had intended to cut ties with the other day came back to her. As she skated into the jump, she begged her right leg for cooperation. "There's no helping it, Kanon-chan. You really are so spoiled." She heard her mother's voice and it materialized as a 3-rotation combination jump. The ice shavings glittered like her rhinestones near Kanon's feet. "We can always make more money, Kanon-chan." She skated forward again, this time drawing near to the judges, and slightly shook her head for a reason only she could possibly understand. Money? Kanon exhausted a combination spin before the judge panel. She leaned on one edge and spun at high speeds, drawing a circle in the ice, all the while shifting her posture and position, readjusting her balance each time. Mom should pay more attention to her spending. While giving thanks in her mind to the judges who work on meager salaries, Kanon ever so naturally demonstrated a very vivid Y spin. "Alright, Mom." Her right ankle was strained from the spin and it cried out in pain. "Mom!" It's coming up next. Watch closely. She focused her concentration once more onto a technique that was considered impossible for a woman in Ikoko's skating days. She had no choice but to do it. It was the only way to win. Not against Seta, against herself. It was the only way to defeat a girl who had been spoiled by her mother from birth. And as Kanon was being spoiled, Kanon was also spoiling her mother. While gliding backwards, Kanon nailed her 2-pick into the ice, violently, as if scolding her mother. This was where her submitted program had listed a triple. It was at that moment. A thunderous roar shook the arena. Kanon's solo jump was high enough to pierce the heavens. The moment she launched into the air, the tranquility which had reigned up to that point vanished, and ferocity filled the emotional vacancy in the air. Quadruple? Toe loops are considered rather simple among all the jumps, but if you're talking about a quad, then it's a completely different story. It's considered more difficult than even the triple axel, which only a handful of women can do in the entire world. It's also worth more points than 2 triple toe loops combined. Ikoko-san spoke up from my side in a shaky voice. I had no words. What a girl. Skaters are free to make changes to their program before or even during the performance. But in most cases that simply involved reducing triple jumps to doubles for surer or safer points. No successful 4-revolution jump has ever been landed in an official match by a woman. Kanon had set her mind on perfection in this, the 11th hour. She intends to win. And points were not the only thing that Kanon had obtained. Wild, feral, torrential voices of astonishment fell onto the ice.
なんか違わないか。ああ、いつものフリーと全然違う。気持ちが入ってるっていうか、別人じゃん。あれ、本当に浅井カノンか?
The atmosphere had changed. I was proud. My sister had showed me the world's first execution of this incredible maneuver. Kanon had just finished her 3-jump combination, double axel, double loop, double loop. That leaves just one last jump. The second half of the performance was rapidly approaching. She earnestly endured the pain of her injury while wearing an affectionate smile. It hurts. Her miraculous quad jump sent a shock all the way to her hips. She had pushed it a bit with that technique. Her knees creaked in a nearly dizzying, throbbing pain. It was a mystery how her right ankle still managed to glide over the ice. Even still, I must answer to this applause. Up until now, Kanon had practically ignored the audience. She had thought of them as nothing more than an ignorant bunch that would just fall all over her after she showed them some difficult maneuver. But they were pure. They put forth a decent amount of money to witness today's event out of nothing but a love for skating. If that wasn't the case, then how else would you explain these grand cheers? Despite how much they hate me, they're still sending me such warm shouts. Kanon almost cried for the urge to apologize to the audience. It was miserable, but in the place of tears, she wore a smile and held her chin high in pride. As long as this 100x200 foot ice rink is here, Kanon will strain her utmost strength in order to satisfy them as a figure skater. Just then, Though she had known beforehand which seat her brother would be in, it was still quite fortuitous. In the middle of a straight line step sequence, she caught a glimpse of her mother in the stands for an instant. Songs my mother taught me in the days long vanished. Seldom from her eyelids were the teardrops banished. The program was Songs My Mother Taught Me. This was the musical selection that had caused such a stir during the NHK Trophy and the finals. The piece we had all thought could never complement as Kanon. A non-vocal arrangement of Dvorak's tune flowed over the ice. The theme of this piece is very simply gratitude towards one's mother. The mother rubbed her hands together and sobbed for her daughter. As if reciting some prayer, she cried in a subdued voice. The mother, a woman who had become an empty husk, mustered all of her spirit to dedicate a prayer. There was no doubt that Kanon was suffering on the ice from that quad jump. Only she never broke her smile. She showed not a single shard of weakness. Kanon expressed her gratitude for her mother with her facial expression, her toe pick, and everything in between.
Kanon-chan. Kanon-chan.
Alright, Kanon, your last jump is waiting. I learned something from my studying. Jumps performed in the second half are worth 10% more points. Once stamina has begun to wear out, so doing anything impressive late in the program is a harsh feat. Only the king would even dream of pulling off what she's about to do. Go for it, Kanon. Bring the triple axel, the flower of skating, into the heat of the finale. Gah. The tension caused me to bite my lip. Hang in there, Kanon. The arena was dazzling. Kanon's consciousness was already faint. By now, one could say her body was just performing on its own. Why? How is it that she's still standing? How can she still be performing this high-level flying spin combination so happily? Her world spun like a top.
もうスケートやめたい。
一体どうしたの、カノンちゃん。
だってつまんないんだもん。
どうして？この前の競技会も勝ったじゃない？
勝っても楽しくない。楽しいのはお母さんだけ。
お母さんが楽しいのはダメなの？
え？
お母さん、とっても嬉しいのよ。
だってお母さん、自分が自慢したいだけだもん。
自慢しちゃダメ？
それは。
カノンちゃん、これから先ね。カノンちゃんが有名になったら、もっともっといろんな人が自慢したがるわよ。
そうなの？
私もそうだったの。大会の偉い人、偉い人の親戚、会社の人、みんなカノンちゃんを自分のために利用するわよ。
だったらなおさらやだ。
それでも、それだけじゃないのよ。
意味わかんない。
じゃあ、意味がわかるまで続けてみたら？
何それ？
さあ、練習しましょ
う。もういいよ。お母さんには何言っても無駄だね。
She finally understood. A moment ago, she happened to glance at a sign among the spectators. There was a disgusting-looking penguin drawn on it. Someone with long, disheveled hair had taken advantage of the loud applause to stand up and shout. She discovered the sight of her mother's shedding tears. During her step sequence, the spectators sent her applause in tempo with the music. Her 4 minutes were nearly up and her program was coming to an end. She had no regrets. Even if she had done so begrudgingly, Kanon was happy that she kept skating. Even if she was just the object of her mother's vicarious lifestyle, even if she was enabling the greed of her sponsors, the applause right here, in this crowded arena, was the real thing. The piece was drawing to a close. Her eyes were moist and her tears fell, glittering in the light. While crying with a smile, Kanon put her all into the last launch. She leaped. Kicking away the person she had been until now, she jumped toward her mother. Eventually, I too will become a mother. And when I teach my child this song, teach each melodious measure, the tears will oft, just like my mother's, flow from my memory's treasure.